Okay, good morning everyone again. Who would like to do the work today?
I would like to do the work, and I've been reading bits and pieces of one of Byron Katie's books, but I haven't really sat with the worksheet by myself, so I'm still a little, I can't see it's a little like, I don't quite know all the pieces yet, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to stay in the main room so I could learn a little bit more about how the worksheet fits together, because it was really powerful, and also I was like, I don't quite understand entirely how to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So
very common experience. So
yeah.
did you write a worksheet yet, or would you like to be guided in how to fill one in?
I have not written a worksheet yet. I'm having trouble. I mean, you sent out one, but I was on my phone, so I'm trying to pull one up on the internet, and it's harder than you would think.
So why doesn't everyone find a worksheet, or if you know the format, just find somewhere to type or write, and we'll do it together, okay? Great, and of course I'll join you. So who needs the link? Raise your hand to keep it raised to the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet if you don't have it. Okay, so give me one moment. I'll think fast here. So thework.com, and then in the upper right, you'll see downloads. If you click it once, actually, let me show you guys so that you can see how to do this. So here's thework.com, and right here in the upper right, you have downloads. So you click that, and there's the worksheet. And you can click it again, and the click at the top is English, and then it has quite a few other languages, as you can see. So you hit download on that, and then there it is. Yep. So the only thing I like to add to the top of this worksheet, as if you had a yellow Post-it note, is we'll start with the situation, but we're going to hone into a very specific moment in time. So time and location. So for everyone, let's also, this is a meditation. So you may not have a situation right away, and that's all right. So I invite you to close your eyes. And for a moment, think of a recurring stressful situation or a recent stressful situation, one that's very clear in your mind. Now, it could be an old situation, a big situation, or it could be recurring, something from work, from home, something related to COVID. Or if you double click on COVID, what issue within COVID? You could think topically, is it work or money? Is it your health? What's the stressful situation? And the first check is to see, is this about another person? So you wouldn't use the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet to write on yourself. So if it's about another person, good. You have the right worksheet. And if it's about a situation or about yourself, we would do a different process. So let's check that out for a minute. So raise your hand if you have a situation on another person. Okay, good. So we're consistent in that. So now what I want you to write down at the top of your worksheet or separately is, what is the time and location? So that's the when and where. So what time of day was it? Was it afternoon or morning? And then where were you standing or sitting? So that's the first half. So for example, Flynn, do you have an example that you could share with us? Time and location, and you're muted, by the way.
I was getting into my car with my dog and standing in the kind of parking lot driveway area where I'm living, and greeting people about 15, 20 feet away.
Okay, beautiful. So now the second part is, I like to say, time, location, and trigger. So what happened as a video camera would capture it? What did someone say or do, or what happened? That was the moment of the trigger, yeah.
Yeah, they looked at me and had no masks on.
So there it is. Can you guys see that in your mind's eye? It's like the setting of a play, or it's hitting the pause button on a movie clip. So that's time, location, and trigger. Thank you, Flynn. Anyone else have a really clear answer like that? Could share?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay, Karina.
So it's Monday late morning. I'm in the bedroom, and my 2-week-old is thrashing at my breast. He's not latching, and he's like tongues everywhere, and he's getting frustrated.
Okay, so does that check out? Time, location, and trigger right in the moment? Works for me. So you can all see that, and you know right. Doesn't it? Okay, so now the worksheet is a deep dive into that moment in time. So the work is meditation, meaning capturing your thoughts in a specific situation. So not other situations, not necessarily sitting here right now, but in that situation, who angered, confused, hurt, saddened, or disappointed you, and why. So the facts belong in the situation. Don't write another fact down. You're already standing there. Now, why does it bother you? What's the emotion that you're feeling? So capture that down. And then once you have the emotion, why? What are they doing to you? I'm angry with Paul because he lied to me. So that's a perception, not a fact. That's what we want for number one. So go ahead, capture that and take your time. And either Flynn or Karina, when you're ready, if you'd read it, what you have for us.
I'm frightened. I'm frightened by them because they don't have masks on and they want to talk to me.
Okay. So for me, that could be still a knock on the door. Is it a fact that they don't have masks on? Yeah. You got muted again.
Yes.
And they want to talk to you, and that means that, what are they doing to you?
Exposing me
To
to something deadly, to a deadly virus. Yeah.
okay, so they're exposing me to something deadly. Got it. There. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got, I am heartbroken with Toby because he's not able to feed on me.
He's not able to feed on me. Okay. And does that feel like a fact to you, or is that the part that upsets?
That's what I'm wondering. What would that mean if that is a fact? That means that so I go to point the finger at me, and I don't want to, you know, I want to keep it focused on him.
You said he's frustrated before. What is your story about him?
He's frustrated. He's well, he's not getting what he needs.
So that's pretty clear.
Yeah, he's not getting what he needs from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, makes sense.
Mm.
And Liz, what do you have so far, if you mind sharing?
Um, yeah, I don't know if it's like I'm working on distilling. I'm still working at like distilling the different the how to say it.
That's okay, but we'll coach you through it.
Okay. So saying it's mid-morning and I am taking down my booth at a small festival, and a friend, or what I thought of as a friend, comes up, and I want to resolve a conflict we had the night before, and she's angry, and so am I.
Okay.
I think that's the situation.
Okay, that's a good start. So we're just going to keep zooming in. So
Yeah.
what
Help me.
was the moment of the trigger? So if you were to hit the pause button somewhere in that conversation, what happened? She says, or she does what?
She explodes when, God, is that the trigger? I don't. It's really confusing
What did she
still.
say to you?
So, I wanted to talk about our conflict the night before, and she wanted to tell me that I had issues. So she said that I had a lot of problems that I needed to work on. And I told her that she needed to have boundaries. And then she exploded and told me that I was attacking her.
Okay.
And yeah.
You guys hear the choose your own adventure? Like, which door do we go through there? So
Yeah.
there's a dozen worksheets in a 10-second period. So it's like, what really was the moment that upset you? Was it when she attacked you? Was it just before that when she said that you had issues? Which was the one that actually hurt?
I mean, it might, I think it was when she exploded because she chose to not be in conversation with me anymore. And I think that hurt the most, is that, and she effectively, stood up and started yelling at me and walked off. And that was the last conversation that we were able to have. So I think that for me, as soon as like we're not able to like figure out a resolution, I think that, or what's happening, or at least come to some sort of standstill with each other, that's the.
So let's slow that down then again and check it out with you. So if someone can mute this background noise, is that you, Liz? No. Okay.
I think it's Karina, and she might be speaking to someone else.
Okay, no worries. There we go. So when she exploded, what did she say when that emotional explosion happened?
She's just like, she basically yelled, I mean, this was a while ago, and I've been trying, so it's like a little bit emotionally fraught. So
Yeah,
the gist of the conversation, or the gist of her side, was that no, she didn't need boundaries, and that I needed to work on myself, and because I had some serious faults, and I was attacking her.
Okay.
And like that was like violently attacking her.
Just that part, just that one moment she starts in.
Okay.
Is that it? So that's the choice here.
I think there's a lot of moments, but I think that I could focus on that moment.
Okay, so she says, no, I don't need boundaries, and you're attacking me?
Yeah, I mean, better boundaries. Yeah, and you're violently attacking me.
You're violently attacking me. Okay,
which
so
I was not physically doing anything. So
to be clear, got it.
to be clear, I was sitting on the ground downhill from her.
Okay. So can you see that? Can you hold that in your mind's eye? Do you see that moment?
Yeah. hmm
Okay, so this is really important. It feels like we're taking a moment with this, but just to lock it in. There you are. It's the thing about boundaries and you attacking her. Okay, so now we're meditating on a moment in time. So now we go back to the worksheet. And this is, in accounting, they call this garbage in, garbage out. Not that it's garbage otherwise, but if you don't lock into a moment, you're kind of guessing at what's going on. And it's, you get less, in my experience, out of the work than if you have a very moment. Okay, so here we are. So, and what's the emotion you feel in that moment, Liz?
I think a combination of anger and shock.
Okay. And we don't have to use her name if you don't want, with her.
No.
And because what is she doing to you in that moment?
Well, it feels like she's throwing out our relationship. I can't know if that's true, but
We'll get to
I'm
that part
shocked.
later. So now you
Yeah.
get to be fully emotionally honest without
Yeah.
being wise or spiritual.
Oh,
This is to say whatever's true for you.
I'm angry and shocked because she doesn't want to have any contact with me anymore.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So in that moment, so we're just holding that moment, what do you want her to do? How do you want her to change? So this is like the tantrum of a 2-year-old.
Oh, I want her to figure out, I want her to be able to talk to me
So to talk
calmly.
calmly. So really short, simple sentences. I want, like you're 8 years old, I want her to talk to me calmly. Good.
Yeah.
What else?
I want to be seen for who I am.
I want her to see me for who I am. Good.
Okay. I want,
Her.
yeah, I want her to recognize, oh, this was like an 8-year-old. I want her to see herself for who she is.
Yeah, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
I don't want to be judged by her. I guess that's the,
so I want her to stop judging me.
sure, yeah.
Okay. So if number 2 is kind of in general, when we go to advice, which are shoulds, let's get specific. So how do you get what you wanted in number 2? She should or she shouldn't what specifically?
She shouldn't have sat down to talk about the conflict the night before if she wasn't interested or able to. Or she should have stated how angry she was before she sat down.
So right in that moment, so you want her to talk to you calmly. How would she do that? What should she do to do that?
She should have taken her time and breathed. I don't know. She shouldn't yell at me.
Take your time and breathe.
Yeah.
Clear. Got it. And then what was the second one you said?
She shouldn't yell.
That's pretty clear advice. And then how does a person see you for who you are? How would you know she was doing that? She should what?
Oh, like she should understand my humanity and both of our fallibilities rather than telling me I'm the one with issues.
She shouldn't just tell me I'm the one with issues.
Yeah.
Okay. And if she was to see herself for who she is, what would she do specifically? How do you do
that? She should take a moment to reflect on her actions and her communication.
And how would you know she had stopped judging you? What would she do?
She would have not been yelling or telling me what to do.
Okay. Anything else that she would do that you would know she was not judging you? Shouldn't tell you what to do? Anything she would do?
She wouldn't, or she would do, she would, instead of reacting, trying to short sentence, instead of reactionary, she would maybe respond, you know, she could have told me that I needed to have better boundaries with her. Just kind of like a give or a take, which is telling me what to do, but like, instead of reacting so violently against my request that she have better boundaries, she could have reflected back to me something that she thought.
So she should reflect. Do you mean what she's hearing you say back to you? What do you mean by reflect?
Yeah, what she's hearing me say, or even her perception of what, like if she thinks that, if I'm like, oh, you have bad boundaries, like you need to work on that, she could have been like, well, actually, I think we both need to work on that. Like, does that make sense? Like
She should reflect it back. And is there a way in which you want her to do that?
She could calmly.
Yeah, she should calmly
reflect back that we both are having a similar issue.
She should calmly reflect back her perspective, maybe?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell her what her perspective is, but.
Yeah. All right, so then now we go from 3 to 4. So 4 are about needs. We also call these values. So in order for you to be happy, what do you need her to be or to feel? With your body?
Oh. I mean, happy is an operative word, but I think comfortable.
You need her to be comfortable. You need her to
Yeah,
be
I think
happy
for
and
me to be
comfortable.
happy, she needs to trust that I care about her.
Yeah, I need her to trust that I care about her.
And I need to know that she respects me even though we're in conflict.
I need her to respect me even though, whoops, this worksheet. Even though we're in conflict. Clear. So who, just for a quick time out here, who can name the values that are in these sentences? Which ones do you see? The needs.
Respect, trust, comfortable,
Comfort, maybe.
comfort,
And happiness.
happy,
Also
and
care.
caring. Yeah.
And maybe something about conflict.
Mm.
Productive conflict, maybe. So these are all values, all needs. Okay, so then the fun part here, complaint, making a list of labels in that moment when you feel angry and shocked. What do you think of her? What one-word labels or short phrases would you put on her?
She's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Let it fly. What else?
Self-centered. Petty. There's a word that's on there, but petty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, it's funny because I'm like reading petty and judgmental on the worksheet, and I'm just like, actually, petty and judgmental are.
Does work for you?
Yeah, that works for me.
Anything else?
Manipulative. And I think egotistical, but yeah, I think that probably sums it up for me.
Okay, and then rounding third base here. So what is it in or about the situation or the person that you don't ever want to experience or feel again? I don't know.
I don't want to experience her judgment or feel her her fear, which her fear leads to her manipulating people around her. So I don't want to feel her fear or have her fear projected on me again.
I don't ever want her to project her fear onto me again. Is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think,
okay.
Yeah, because I don't ever want to be manipulated, which is sort of.
Okay, got it. So there we are. We've completed our worksheet. So yeah, thank you. So for me, I'm doing this a little bit differently maybe than some of you have learned. I'm just really drilling for the specifics in number two. Pardon me, in number three. Number two can be in general. It's the tantrum with reality. And then if we get specific first, it's much easier later to work with both the inquiry process and the living turnarounds. And then that number four is about needs or values, and there they are. So that's why 2, 3, and 4 are different in my experience.